Hi, and welcome to another video from the Enphase Learning on Demand series. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Enphase Installer Toolkit app to connect to the Envoy and set grid profiles, as well as view valuable microinverter details during the activation process. When connecting to an Envoy with an iOS device, you'll need to have the following components: an Envoy with Ethernet cable, an iOS device with the Enphase Installer Toolkit app installed on it from the iTunes Store, a wireless router, or a portable wireless router like we've shown here. In this video, we'll be using the portable router from TP-Link, the MR3040. The first step in connecting the iOS device to the Envoy is to set up both the Envoy and the iOS device on the same wireless network. Take one end of the Ethernet cable and plug it into the LAN port of the Envoy. Take the other end of the Ethernet cable and plug it into the LAN port of the portable wireless router. Next, connect the iOS device to the wireless network that is provided by the portable wireless router. You can now access the Envoy from the mobile device. On the mobile device, launch the Installer Toolkit app and log into Enlighten using your email address and password. Once you've logged in, tap the plus symbol in the upper right-hand side of the screen to add a new system. Enter system details and the Envoy serial number for that new activation. Tap the Save button in the upper right-hand side of the screen when you've completed. From the system screen, locate the name of the system you created and tap on that name. You can see 3 new buttons at the bottom of your screen. For this video, I'll be focusing on the functionality within the Connect button at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. While on the Overview button, you can see details about the system you've connected to. Starting at the top of the screen and working down, you'll see the IP address of the Envoy, the Envoy's software version, system power and energy production, and finishing towards the bottom of the screen with the microinverter details as well as navigation buttons. You can tap on each of the rows or the navigation buttons to get details for that section. By clicking on the Detected button at the bottom, you'll see details about any device scans running as well as how many inverters have been detected. Notice the checkmark to the left. The checkmark indicates that the Envoy has detected the number of microinverters you specified for that site. Clicking on the drop-down arrow will expand the details about the microinverters that have been detected. In this example, you will see the inverter serial numbers and a timestamp of when the Envoy detected each of the microinverters. If you encounter a need to access troubleshooting information, tap on the Troubleshooting Information button near the bottom. The Comms and Power buttons are laid out in a similar fashion as the Detected button. They will show you additional details about microinverter communications, power production, and troubleshooting. The last button we haven't talked about yet is the Profiles button. This button will only appear for installations that are outside of the continental United States. In this example, we're using an installation that is in Hawaii and requires new grid profiles to be set to be compliant with the local utility. To select the correct profile, start by selecting the Country Regulatory Specification from the top drop-down. Then select the appropriate grid profile from the bottom drop-down. Tap Apply Grid Profile to start propagating the profile to the microinverters. Once the profiles have been set for all microinverters, tap Done in the upper right-hand side of the screen. At this point, you can either disconnect from the Envoy or view the summary report and email it to use as verification for the local utility. The report will show that all inverters have received the new grid profile. You've now seen how to use the Installer Toolkit to connect to the Envoy to set the grid profiles and view valuable information about the inverters during the activation process. You should now be able to list the required components to use the Installer Toolkit, describe how to connect to the Envoy with an iOS device and a portable router, and describe how to set new grid profiles and email the summary report.